I want to go back to the sun now, and I want to share with you guys videos that have been shared with me. I've seen this before, this phenomena, over the years, but I've never had 3 videos shared with me in such a short period of time. This first video footage was sent in by Connie from South Florida, and she said she happened to notice as she was out working on her camper here, she happened to notice what seemed like the sun flicker, and you can see the sun's up in the sky and there's no clouds. So she began recording the sun. This was from October the 5th in the morning of 2022. And you can clearly see it looks like the sun is doing some sort of pulsating in the sky. So I received Connie's video from South Florida, and then I received another video from Southwest Florida, Sanibel Island. Goes back to September 13th of 2022. And you can clearly see on this day there were no clouds in the sky, just like Connie's video, and the sun appears to be pulsating. Could be some sort of a processing anomaly. I don't know. But Connie, in the first video that I shared with you guys, she claimed that she noticed the light, the daylight flickering. That's what compelled her to record the sun. This next video was sent in by Brendan out of Connecticut, and this video was from October the 7th of 2022, less than 48 hours ago. This was detected by his Nest camera on the front of his house. And as you're going to see in this video, as the sun entered the field of view of his Nest camera, you can clearly see that the sun looks like it's pulsating. I don't know if that's because the trees are maybe interfering with the light and the camera is attempting to focus on the extreme bright light and just simply cannot. Not quite sure what's going on there, but I've received video footage like that in the past, but I've never received 3 in less than a month. So if you guys have noticed anything like that, please leave a comment down below in the comment section, because Connie down here in South Florida, she claims that she noticed the light flickering, and once again, that's what compelled her to take that video that she did.
All my conspiracy-oriented friends on the right who think I'm planning to unleash some secret agenda, you're absolutely right. So allow me to close with a quick preview. In my second term, I will win the war on Christmas.
Qatar is hosting the 2022 World Cup in what is sure to be one of the most controversial tournaments ever.
So here's everything you need to know. Qatar is the smallest country to ever host a World Cup, and they're also the first Islamic country to do so. And while they have huge plans for their tournament, there are also big controversies that are almost impossible to ignore.
The decision to give Qatar the tournament was made in 2010, with FIFA saying it would bring new audiences to football. It was also the day when Russia was handed the World Cup in 2018. Qatar got 2022. But people have argued for years as to how legitimate that decision really was. Qatar always insisted they won it fair and square.
Qatar is a conservative state where homosexuality is still against the law.
The organisers insist that everyone is welcome and that rainbow flags can be flown in stadiums. But some gay fans just don't want to travel, something England manager Gareth Southgate has spoken about.
There are clearly human rights issues that are of concern. We want a game that's inclusive. It's not a good situation that we've got certain parts of our fan base who might feel uncomfortable travelling to the World Cup.
There have also been reports of worker rights abuses in the building of stadiums for the tournament. Just how many workers have died in the construction of these stadiums is disputed. But all the attention has forced Qatar to improve the conditions and rights of workers.
The kafala system has been abolished. Minimum wages for workers have been introduced. Regulations have been put in place to protect the health of workers from the heat situations, which obviously is an issue in the summer in Qatar.
Is the situation now perfect? No. Are things better than they were? Almost certainly yes.
For the first time ever, the World Cup is being played in the winter because the summertime temperatures here are just too hot. Temperatures can reach close to 50 degrees Celsius. It'll still be warm, but air conditioning inside these venues will help fans and the players keep cool. There will be 8 stadiums, all within an hour's drive of each other, so it'll feel more like an Olympic Games centred on one city, Doha.
Drinking alcohol is normally limited to hotels or private homes here in Qatar, but it will be permitted in more places than usual. Fan parks are expected to be serving beer at around £5 a pint.
Many of the hotel rooms are already booked. There's apartments, cruise ships out in the bay, or the most budget-friendly option will be a campsite here in the desert.
Organisers have been inspired by big festivals where there's lots of camping, so a site is being built out here in the desert for some of the 1 million people expected to descend on Qatar throughout the tournament.
Favourites for the tournament include Brazil, reigning champions France, and even England, who reached the semi-finals in the last World Cup. But European champions Italy will not be at the tournament after getting knocked out of the qualifying playoffs by North Macedonia. Another team who won't be there are Russia. They were removed from the tournament after the country invaded Ukraine. The World Cup final on December the 18th will inevitably feel strange, and Christmas shopping and office parties might be nudged aside in favour of watching huge international matches.
All of this means that World Cup 2022 will feel like a very different experience for the players on the pitch, for the fans here in the stadiums, and for everyone watching back home.
總有人會出現，與眾勸憑什麼話棄權？被將軍上半場受重傷，劊子手迎敵軍太善良，誰為中那個人鐵一樣，更衣室全隊都若變強。來到決定時候，兒看繼續流，男生拿下對手，要開天闢地靠着誰是戰友？怒射出火焰，額頭流熱血，人群中萬人的向中前，大地都崩裂，國度快變天，撐得起名字寫於我背面，打不死人自己就是這大戰。衝鋒車下半場入門有，坦克車挨十槍當福壽，噴射機似探視有左右，講組織談陣色力二流。